This is Sue Bell from Market Domination Solutions. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, right, Tim? All right. This is an exciting day. We have been working long and hard on this presentation today, and I am excited. We're just going to hop right in. So this is going to be the beginning of a series um, on ranking keywords in 2019. The game has changed. It's changed significantly. It changed again last fall, for those of you who are not aware. And so we're going to start today by talking about long tails, because I think that that's a great place to start. Long tails are not a difficult thing to rank for, and today we're going to show everybody how they can kick some serious money. All right, so let's talk for a second. What is a long tail anyway? Long tails are defined by the number of searches and not by the number of words. I know a lot of people are like, is it 4 words, 5 words? No, it's actually, as you can see here, we've got 70% of the keywords searched for today are long tails, which is obviously the majority of them. Tim, hit the help desk question on the bottom of the website, the help desk, and we'll get you squared away. 70% of the keywords are long tails, which means sky is the limit when it comes to grabbing this low-hanging fruit. Conversion's high, traffic's low, so obviously if you're going to focus on long tails as a strategy, you're going to need quite a few of them to make it work. So how many long tails do you need? Let's take a look at this for a second. If your goal is $10,000 a month and each sale you make is $100 a month, now obviously these two numbers are numbers that you're going to want to swap into the algorithm the little equation that we're about ready to demonstrate here, so that you can figure out how many long tails you need. You're going to need $10,000 divided by $100, which is going to equal 100 sales in order to make your $10,000, okay? Now, if a long tail keyword equals 5 searches, and some of them are going to be a little more, some are going to be a little less, let's average it at 5 searches per minute. And if we get a 36% conversion rate, which I don't think I mentioned in the slide before, so let me just stop and say that long tails have got a great conversion rate. It's somewhere right around 36% as an average. That means you're going to need 1.8 sales. That means you're going to get, in essence, 1.8 sales per month for each long tail keyword, which is pretty astounding. Did I really not have the 36%? Did that actually oh, here it was. It was over here, 36% conversion rate. All right, good. So if we take that number, that magic number of 100 sales, and we divide it by the 1.8 average that we'd get on a long tail keyword, you'd need somewhere around 55 keywords, 56 keywords, to be able to accomplish your $10,000 goal, right? So because you might not get any, long tails are weird, right? You're going to get more queries one month than you are in the next month. So if you want to actually have a solid long tail plan, I would take those 56 long tail keywords and I would double that so that you have 112. So if we go with the premise that I've set forward here, we're going to want to target 112 keywords. Now, the cool thing about long tail keywords is that they're Moorish, and I'll get into that in a minute. But in essence, as you start targeting long tail keywords, you'll get more keywords. You'll rank for more keywords. All right, so I had somebody ask me this week, how the heck do you find long tail keywords? Because AdWords doesn't return keywords. I mean, first of all, Google in the keyword tool inside of AdWords, they're mostly interested in your spending money, and they're not really interested in giving you any kind of feedback for keywords that, one, people aren't spending money on, and two, people aren't spending a lot of money on. So I don't know how much you played with the keyword tool, but in essence, this is the way it rocks. If you put in a list of keywords, it's going to take the keywords that are on the lower end of searches, and it's going to devalue those. So in other words, if you would have had a keyword that had 30 searches in the month, it's going to devalue that and say it's more like 15 searches in the month. If you put that keyword in all by itself, it'll give you the real number. But if you put it in with a list of other keywords where the other keywords have got more searches, then the ones that are on the lower end get devalued further, because Google wants you to think that the keywords that have more searches are more valuable. You go after those keywords when you're spending money, and Google makes more money. So AdWords is a pretty useless term when it comes, or a pretty useless tool when it comes to looking for keywords that have got less than 20 searches, because below about 20 searches, they don't even return the keywords at all. You'll get onesies and twosies here and there, but really you don't get much. So Google Autofill is an interesting place to go. I've noticed that both Autofill and the related searches at the bottom of the SERPs page, both of those, if you put those keywords into Google Keyword Tool, they tend to come back with few or no searches. So those are actually some pretty good places to go to find long tails. Ubersuggest is another really interesting place. I'm sure most of you guys know Ubersuggest. Oh, this is giving me a really weird link. Hang on a second. Let me go grab the link out of my slideshow. Two shakes of a lamb's tail. That's a Neil Patel tool. I don't think he originally had it, but the last time I was there, I noticed it was his chat box. Let's give this to everybody. He bought it, right? I thought he did, Stephen. So Tim says, I'm missing the idea of why do you want keywords with less than 20 searches? There's two reasons why you want them, Tim. First of all, they're easy to rank for, like drop dead easy to rank for. And second of all, because they're specific, you tend to get really good conversion on them. So that sort of makes it a no-brainer in my book. Today I'm approaching this as though that's your only strategy, but as we go on through the other webinars that we've got planned, we'll incorporate other kinds of keywords, and this will just be a part of your overarching strategy. But I think it's a great place to start, because I'm going to show you stuff today that you can go home and implement and start getting more searches on your website. Alexa's tool. Let me find you the link for Alexa too. Does that come through right? Yes, it did. So Alexa will give you a free trial, and I think it might give you a few keywords just right up front. It's a pretty good tool in terms of, it's actually a cool tool, because Alexa will look at how strong your website is and give you back keywords that it believes you can rank for fairly easily. So it's not just for long tails, but it's also a reason. I haven't tried it. It's a fairly new thing since the last time I was at Alexa a few months ago, their keyword difficulty tool, but it sounds like a very promising tool. And by the time we get into ranking for other keywords besides long tails, I will have tried it. And then finally, you can swipe competitors' keywords. My favorite tool for that is SEMrush. I'll take a look at the top 10 domains and go stick them into SEMrush and just grab all of their keywords and then go for the low-hanging fruit, right? Go for the long tails. Because chances are high, the keywords, those long tails that they're ranking for, they're not trying to rank for, they're just ranking for them by accident. So it's not going to take too much to get on the front page for this. And then finally, Answer the Public is a great website in that regard, because it basically creates a whole bunch of questions around your keyword. And those can be some extremely good, he's always so funny, some extremely good keywords. It's just a funny landing page if you haven't ever watched him before. So that's how to get keywords. If you run through just a couple of those, you should come back with a fairly substantial list of keywords that you can rank for. So let's get into now that you have your keywords in hand, let's talk about how you're actually going to implement this. The first thing you're going to want to do is group related keywords together in themed clusters. I suggest using 5 to 10 per page. So the way that I go about this is I have a headword, I have a primary keyword. Most of the time I've got 2 or 3 secondary keywords that I'm trying to rank for on one page, right? So the main keyword within those 1 to 4 terms are going to be my head terms. And those are the things I'm going to look to make long tails out of for that particular page. So if I've only got one keyword that I'm targeting on the page, it's pretty easy to come up with 10 keywords. If I'm actually trying to target 4 different keywords, not just where they're variations on a theme so that they've all got the same head keyword, but where I've actually got LSIs that I'm targeting on that page, then that can give me 3 or 4 different head words. And that means I can target up to 30 or 40 long tails on that page without trying very hard, right? I need to breathe, okay? Thanks, guys. I'll take a sip of coffee. That'll slow me down, sure. All right, so you guys follow that, right? Where if we've got 4 keywords that we're targeting on the page and they're 4 completely, obviously they're related because you're targeting 4 keywords on one page, but it's like, let's use an example here. Let's say that I've got a coffee shop and I'm targeting Java, and I'm targeting coffee, and I'm targeting cafe on a single page, right? So that's 3 completely different words for the same idea. So that can give me, I can take those and stick them into something like Uber Suggest or Answer the Public, and I can easily walk away with 10 long tails for each one of those keywords, giving me up to 40 keywords that I can target on that page. All right, so if we only have one keyword and you're going to target between 5 and 10 keywords, long tails for each page, we'll just go back to the basics, right? That means you're going to need roughly 10 to 20 pages, for example, for $10,000. So, as I said before, long tails are moreish. We're going to target these 10 to 20 keywords, but we're actually going to be able to rank for a whole lot more. And I'll show you some of that in just a second. All right, let's talk about optimizing the page word. Because each search volume is less than 5 a month, you can't have it in an exact match on the page more than once. Think about this for a second. Let's say you've got extra strong Java Cedar Park, Texas as a keyword. Most people don't say that in conversation very often. So within, I don't know how many words you've got on the page, but let's say you've got 2,000 words on your page. Most people aren't going to use that as an exact match. It is an exact phrase within a 2,000 word stretch more than once. So where you're actually targeting the keyword, be careful to not stick it in the content exactly as it is more than once. If you want to, you can have it as the alt text on an image or something like that. But once on the page is actually enough. You don't get carried away. Don't over optimize. Also, because it's infrequently used, you don't want more than one exact matched inbound link. Doesn't matter if it's a do follow or a no follow. Don't do it more than once. And again, they're usually so easy to rank for. Most keywords, I don't even have to have an inbound link, right? I put it on page, and that's all I need. So this means that the other thing in terms of optimization is you need a minimum of 750 words on the page. No thin content. Time for some water. I talked too fast and I ruined my throat, so hang on a second. All right. On-page optimization. So we've talked before about where to place the head word. You want it either in the URL or in the title or in the H1 tag. One of those 3 places typically, and then the other 2 should be variation on a theme. In terms of placing the tails, you can put those anywhere on the page. They're long tails. They don't have to be in the first 150 words. Heaven forbid if you had to stick all 40 keywords in the first 150 words, right? That would be a mess. And also think about the idea that you can use accordions for additional content, because particularly when it comes to clients, some clients, they don't like too much content on the page. It can be hard to come up with content that's going to keep your audience captivated, and you want to make sure that the calls to action remain highly visible. So I oftentimes tuck additional content away in accordions, and it gives me, like, let's say we're talking about locations. it gives me the opportunity to have more location type keywords in additional tabs where, that tab maybe has that suburb or whatever as the title on the tab. And then I've got content specific to that location in that tab. All right. So there's two different ways that you can have a keyword on your page. One is exact match, where if the keyword that we're after is extra dark Java, Cedar Park, Texas, then all of those keywords run one right after another. You're going to rank a whole lot better, a whole lot faster for a keyword if it's concatenated like that. However, because long tails have not a whole lot, most long tails don't have really any competition, they can be proximity. That means they can be spread out in the page. They shouldn't be spread too far out. The further away from each other they are, the more Google thinks they're not relevant. But it's easy to just, insert a stop word, have all the words in the same sentence, at the very least have all the words in the same paragraph, right? So you want to target the long tails on the same page where you already have the head word. This is important. I've seen people go away, and particularly beginners, they'll make a whole bunch of new pages all targeting the same head word with the idea that each one of those pages is going to target 20 different long tails. And so, for one thing, the pages end up competing with themselves, and the other thing is they end up over-optimizing for the head word. Now, if you over-optimize for the head word, you won't rank for any of the long tails. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. If you over-optimize for a head word, you're not going to rank for any of the long tails. So, how many times can you have the head word on the page then? If you've got to have the head word somewhere in the same paragraph, and that's why I started talking about proximity, you have the head word somewhere in the paragraph, you want the other words around. How many times on the page can you have the head word without over-optimization? And that's, sadly, an it depends kind of a phrase, condition. So it depends on how much the head word is actually used in conversation. It depends on how many inbound links you already have for that keyword. It depends on how optimized your website is as a whole already for that keyword. Does that make sense? Give me a 1, guys, if that makes sense, and a 2 if it's fuzzy and I need to try to explain it a little bit better. Some 1s, some 2s. More 1s, more 2s. All right. Let me try one more time. Let's say, okay, I have a client who does integrated lasers. He manufactures or remanufactures lasers for his clients to do, to lasers that cut stuff like fabric and all of the, pretty much anything, any kind of textile you could possibly imagine. So integrated lasers is not a word that's super common in day-to-day speech. So my first thought was, don't use integrated lasers too much on the page. But there's not really a synonym for integrated lasers either. So there's not a good way to express it. And as I looked at the competition, I see that they have it on their websites, the ones that are ranking above the fold on page 1. I see that they have it on their pages a whole bunch of times. So they're ranking well, obviously, for this term. They're using it a whole bunch of times. That means I can use it a whole bunch of times too. So then the only time I'm really going to get in hot water is if I build too many backlinks with the term integrated lasers in it. Then that's going to cause it can cause an over-optimization penalty that's site-wide for that keyword. So then I go and I take a look at those same guys. How many times are they using it on page? How many times are they using it in inbound links? And I get a feel for how much I can use it before I'm going to get penalized. The other thing that makes a difference, how much content do they have on their website? How much content do I have on my website? How much content do they have per page? How many pages? So in other words, how watered down is it? Like what's the density looking like? So all of those kinds of things help add up to what causes over optimization. Does that help? Guys, give me a 2 if it's still a little bit fuzzy. Okay, good. Good. All right. So a spreadsheet. Let's take this out of the realm of being wishy-washy, and let's like bring this full tilt boogie into this is what we're doing. Oh shit, my browser. Okay, so this is like the Uber spreadsheet that we use in the Ninja Marketing members area. So let me just come down here and grab the long tail tab. Here we go. And we'll make a new thingy and share it with you guys. So let's do a new spreadsheet. And we'll just call this spreadsheet taking forever is what we will call this spreadsheet. Here we go. And let's duplicate this, copy this to recent long tail checklist select. All right, that should have copied. So delete this one. That will leave us with just this other one, and we should be good. Let me share this with everybody. All right, and so here's the link to this spreadsheet, and I'm going to do a shameless plug. If you guys are interested in the training that will encompass, where is my thingy? Oh, I can leave this here. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, here we go. If you're interested in the Ninja training, that will give you access to that whole spreadsheet. It is dripped out over time, but it does come. So long tail checklist. And you guys can come up here in File and you can make a copy of it for yourself. And then you can hack on it to your heart's content. All right, so let's just go through this for a minute. Let's say I've got a page here. Let's do it this way. Let's like be like real about this. I have a website. Let's pick a product. Let's pick SEO. All right, so I've got this URL here. And the purpose of this page is to sell clients SEO. Right? The call to action. This is just for me. You don't have to fill this in, but this is just so that I know that there's a clear call to action on the page before I start building links and trying to get it ranked and all of that kind of good stuff. So this is a calendar link, I think. So the head word is going to be SEO, right? So so let's just go through this for a second. Let's come over here and let's go to one of these places that, oh, I missed my, too many tabs, not enough time. Let's try, give me one of the places that you want to that you want me to go look at keywords? Something like all right, Uber suggest. Let's do that. And let's do answer the public too, just in case. Because I think I might have to domain or a keyword. SEO search. Here we go. We got anything back from Neil yet? Keyword ideas. Huh. I don't like any of those keywords, I gotta say. Maybe I should look and see if I've got a not nearly enough content, by the way. Do as I teach, not as I do, right? SEO rankings, maybe. Let's try that. We got anything back over here yet? It's still thinking. SEO ranking tool, SEO ranking monitor. SEO ranking of a website. Volume. These volumes are all pretty high. I'm sure this is per month. So let's do this. Let's come over here to Google and select view keywords, and then you can filter on less than 30. I think I have to have an account, probably. Maybe not. Oh, nice, Steven. Very nice. Turn the filters on. Search volume. Max. Let's say max of 10. And apply. Nice. Video SEO ranking services. I could do that one. Where did my cheat sheet go? Here we go. Page purpose. SEO ranking help. SEO rank my business. And so then here, when I go to put it actually on the page, when I want to make sure that this is actually on my page, I'm going to just put here whether or not I put it in all together or if it's spread out a little bit. And then here I'm going to put whether or not I put an inbound link right away or not. And then I'm going to leave it. I'm going to do some work. I'm going to update the page, right? And I'm going to just leave the page once I update it and see what happens. Give it at least a week. Trying to think. I think there's another slide or two yet to come in on this. I'm going to leave it for at least a week, and I'm going to see what happens. So once I have it on page, because let me go back to my slideshow presentation for a second. We can come back to this in a minute. Because, I'm going to get off into some other topics first. That's okay. We'll do that. We'll come back. All right. So here is what I have found in terms of markup. JSON-LD in the head is far better than trying to figure out the schema markup on page. Plus, Google actually prefers the JSON-LD in the head. So, so if you're going to do a deep dive and do stuff, okay, thanks, Tim. If you're going to do a deep dive and actually code it yourself, do JSON-LD in the head. I did some experimentation where all I have done is added a bunch of locations in the footer. I didn't do any markup. I didn't put the information in the head. I didn't update Google Maps. The only thing I did on Google Maps was I made sure that they had an area, a service area, that was wide enough to include all of the locations that I put in my footer. And aside from that, I didn't do anything other than include a whole bunch of places in my footer. And the other thing I would say I've been really pleased with is Schema plugin. Let me try to find the tab where I have my slideshow open so I can give you the link to that. Actually, it's easy enough for me to just do it again. Schema plugin. Here we go. This is an excellent little schema plugin tool that puts JSON-LD in your head. And it's got a little wizard that will walk you through stuff. But even if you don't do the wizard, even if you just fill out the information on the individual tabs, it's pretty easy. And it puts a surprising amount of schema on your page. It doesn't get super specific. It's mostly just business stuff. But business stuff, owner stuff, business owner, and it's got a good amount. Like as far as covering your basics, it does a wonderful job. So I would say do those two things. This is an example of what I did with my client. All I did, as you can see, there's no markup on these. It's just right straight smack up text. And I did it because I was in a hurry. So I got the map embed. I've got your basic information. The information in the footer was all marked up. But the text down here was just text. I didn't do any inbound links. And some of these places are really small. I don't know if you know Southern Florida, but some of these towns are really pretty itty bitty. And for the obviously, like places like Miami, I didn't rank for anything without doing more work for places for the keywords that I'm targeting in Miami. But for other places, I started the number of keywords that I had above the fold went off the charts. I put in all of these locations and his top, I don't remember, probably top 10 keywords, maybe top 5 keywords. And it was just insane how many keywords he got on page 1 and above the fold. Within the first week or two, to tell you the truth, I did this. I walked away. I wasn't expecting anything, right? But I went ahead and I put it in SERPbook so that I could monitor what was going on. And then I got distracted by another client, another project. I was off and running, and I came back about 10 days later, and I was like, "Holy goo 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 goo!" So that's yeah. So a couple of questions. Can it be used with non-Word? So that plugin that I shot you is a WordPress plugin. If you don't have a WordPress site, I don't have a good solution for you that's easy. You're just going to need to do the JSON-LD by hand, as far as I know. What, Pablo, are you in some kind of a CMS or are you doing HTML? So, all right. So that's my sample footer. Hands-free. All right, let me go back to where I was because the hands-free comes later. All right, so where are we here? We've got our keywords. Did anything ever come back with these keywords? Let's take a look. Questions. We're still waiting for answer the public. Everybody went to answer the public and started typing stuff in, right? I don't think this can just be me. They used to be a little bit quicker than that. All right, so then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick the keywords off of this list. I'm going to pick the keywords off this list that, more water, hang on. That are the things I actually want to rank for. I'm going to go to my website. I'm going to edit the page. I'm going to make sure that I've got at least 750 words here so that Google isn't going to give me, so that Google will give me the time of day. And then I'm going to work the keywords on this list into my text, either all together or spread out a little bit in a sentence or two. More comments. All right, good. So does that make sense to everybody? And then I'm just going to walk away from it. I'm going to leave it for a week or two. I'm going to see what Google decides to do. Well, I will go into Webmaster Tools and I will resubmit the page to make sure Google crawls it as quickly as possible, which quite frequently is still the better part of a week. But I am going to make sure I am going to tell Google to go take a look at it again because I made updates to it. And then I'm just going to let Google do its thing. And then I'm going to come back like a week to 10 days later. And for the keywords where I'm not ranking at all, I'll probably do a social post, right? It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It doesn't have to be, for most of these things, you do not need a do follow link. Now, if I'm going to try and rank for some of this stuff in Miami, I'm probably going to have a do follow link, but it doesn't have to be, how can I say this? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to work really hard at it. It can be, you're still going to need some kind of, okay, so let me tell you what's not going to work. You go to Weebly, you create a brand new blog in Weebly or in WordPress, and over on the WordPress site, a free blog, and you stick up a page so that you've got domain authority, but you don't have any page authority, and you put the link, you put the do follow link to your page. That's not going to help. A social link is going to help more than that will. So if you've got a Twitter account, if you've got a YouTube account, YouTube accounts are great. If you have a YouTube account that's got a following and you've got videos up and they've got some traction, you can go into the description and you can add your links in there. Let me just think about that for a second. You're going to add your links. You add your links and make sure your keywords are in the description close to the link, and you'll get the whole proximity thing going. The other thing you can do is add a comment in a video that's got traction. If you or your client don't already have traction. Facebook, Pinterest, all the usual sorts of third-party platforms that get you some decent no-follow link juice. You can use any of those guys. Again, you just don't want to overdo it because it's extremely long, right? It's got a low search volume. So let's say you put something out, you put out a link to the page and it didn't really help. What's your next step? Well, you can mix it up a little bit so that you've got a proximity-based anchor text, and you add some words in the middle of it. You work all those words into a sentence, that kind of a thing, and you use that to link back with. me see if there's, okay, no other comments. So, do you guys feel, give me a 1 if you guys feel like you have enough information armed here. You can go away, you can put some long tails on your website, you can figure out, you've got your head wrapped around the strategy, and you can go rank for some long tails this weekend. And give me a 2 if something's still fuzzy. 7s don't work, Jazz. Excellent. We have a wall of 1s. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So, give me, I should make this, yes, there'll be a replay, absolutely. Give me a 7, since Jazz already gave me 1. Give me a 7 if now that you know what it is that you have to do, the work that you have to do in order to get long tails rocking. Give me a 7 if you're interested in a hands-free way to make this happen. We have a few 7s. We have a whole bunch of 7s. All right. Can I use my toes up to type the 7? All right. So let's fast forward here to where we were and talk about a hands-free method. My team and I have been, I have to say, one of the members of my team has been investigating this for, I don't know, 2.5 years now. She's been playing with this, and she brought it to me just over a year ago last January. We put up a bunch of test sites, and we started playing with this, and she got serious about it. She did a really deep dive last May, and since then, she's been doing this roughly once a week, and she's got an entire traffic network concept rocking. It's better than a PBN. So it's a series. In her case, it's a series of websites that generate pages every day. It's not your standard mass page generator, because that's what we actually did last January. Is we did a deep dive into pretty much every mass page generator product that was on the market, and that is going to be a webinar coming soon. I have to tell you guys about all the mass page generators, but this is one specific aspect that we looked at, and so it's better than a PBN because it generates pages over time, and it generates traffic, and all of the traffic that it generates gets sent to wherever it is that you want to send it, right? It can go to your money site, it can go to your client's site, it can go to an affiliate offer, it can go wherever you want it to. We can tackle any topic. It can tackle any language. You can have multiple languages on the same website. If your niche is small, you probably want either multiple topics or multiple languages on one site. It is slicker than, yes, it is very slick. Exactly. It's not WordPress. Exactly. We tried WordPress, and I mean, WordPress just has its problems. It gets over so many pages. It gets over so much traffic. If the site is doing really well, it becomes a real attraction for hackers. No, Sam, it doesn't. So this is totally hands-free. What we're offering you guys today is, if you want a hands-free solution, you don't want to have to do anything. You want to just give us some keywords, and we'll go off and create the entire traffic network for you We'll do the setup, we'll do the hosting, we'll do the content drip. You can tell us where you want the traffic to go, and we'll just forward it. Let me grab the sales page for a second. Hang on. Too many tabs. Way too many tabs. I have completely lost. Excellent. So we've got some guys who are saying they're very interested. Here we go. Let me just refresh this to make sure I've got the latest version up here. All right. So let me drop the link here for you. All right. So I'll just go through and explain the rest of the things that we've got here. So it's an entire private traffic search engine traffic generated network that's done for you. Any niche, any market, any language, totally hands-free. So can you use any domain? You can bring your own domain on the lowest package. You bring your own domain on the other two packages. We'll go out and find domains for you. The domains should be, if you're going to bring your own domain, they should be thematically related. It can be an age domain. It can be a brand new domain. It doesn't matter. You'll get better traction if it's an age domain. The TLD doesn't matter. It can be a .com. It can be a .net. It can be a .anything. And if you're going to provide the domain, you should look for something that's got a good link profile. Now, what are we going to teach in the course? Hang on. I'll get there. One of the things that we'll talk about in the course probably is how to find some good domains. But I lost my thought. Hang on a second. So can you use any domain? Bring a domain. Link profiles. Oh yeah, you're going to rank better if you have an age domain. We don't actually, so you have the option where we can link from this site to your money site, but that's not how we send the traffic. So there's absolutely no, unless we actually put a link in there to your money site, there's no risk involved, right? And I would recommend, me personally, just because, I always err on the side of caution, I would say you send it to your social properties and you do the link juice that way. So, okay, hang on a second, we'll get to that. Is there a footprint? So, as I said, the person on my team who's been spearheading this, she's been running this for 2.5 years. They've changed up the software several times. There's anything that you run is going to have some kind of a footprint, and that's why I say don't link it right smack to your money site. Like, just don't do that. But the way that we send the traffic, it's not going to endanger your site at all. There's no 301 redirect. There's nothing like that. There's no way that Google is going to look at that and say, hey, this is a link to your money site, and we're going to decide to penalize you, either because the domain already was penalized before you got it, or because some footprint was set off somewhere. You don't have to worry. We haven't had, as I said, she's got a whole bunch of sites up at this point. She's had absolutely no problem with any kind of footprint issue. None of her sites have been penalized in any way, shape, or form. It is high converting buyer traffic because you give us the keywords that you want to look for. Now, you don't have to give us a whole bunch of keywords. The more keywords you give us, the better the traffic is going to be targeted to what it is that you're looking for. But we're going to take those keywords and generate, excuse me, I'm a little excited. A little more water. We're going to generate a whole bunch of other keywords that are semantically related to your core set of keywords. So the traffic that lands on the websites and gets redirected to you are indeed in your niche. What kind of rankings or traffic will I get? That depends, right? That's just, it depends on how competitive your market is. It depends on what kind of keywords you've given us, but that's one of the reasons that we started with talking about long tails. Can you imagine if you've got a website that's got 1 million pages, and these sites can grow up to being 1 million pages. If you've got 1 million pages, can you imagine how many long tails these sites are going to rank for? Can you imagine how much traffic that's going to send you? Are these WordPress or HTML sites? They started off WordPress. They switched them over to HTML because they were getting hacked too frequently. What happens if I cancel? What do you mean you want to cancel? No, seriously. We'll take care of everything. When you buy this from us, there's a small monthly recurring that covers the hosting and maintenance. And if you want to cancel, we give you everything. We'll give you the hosting account, we'll give you the websites, we'll give you the domains, and it's yours to do with as you please. How will you be able to track the performance of these sites? That's a great question. So when we set up the, well, actually, you're going to know because it's going to show you in your analytics where the traffic came from, right? What the originator domain was. So you're going to know that way. Yes, absolutely, Sam. So if you've got my email, let me just drop my email to you. Hang on. You can ping me privately, or if you want, on the bottom of this page, there's the please contact us prior to purchase. That'll send you right to putting a new request in on our help desk. And excellent. I got a lot of people who want to chat. That's awesome. Let me just drop my email here to everybody. All right. Excellent. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely, Stephen. Let's chat. Okay, so let's talk about what we got here. With this product, because of the nature of this product, all sales are final. As soon as we deliver the network to you, and it's yours, and we can't give you a refund. However, I will guarantee that if anything happens to that site in the first year, we will replace it for free. We'll get you a new domain. We'll use the same set of seed terms. We'll get you another site up and running, and we'll do it for free. If you unsubscribe, you get the keys. Everything gets turned over. Until then, we handle everything. If you want your traffic moved from destination A to destination B, you just let us know. We'll do it for you. If you need anything changed, we'll do it for you. We do the backups. We do the updates. And if you want links to somewhere, we'll do that. If you want the links changed, we'll do that. Whatever you need, right? It's a full service facility. So today, we're offering 3 different options. Basic is going to get you one site for $300. You supply the domain. Standard is going to get you 2 sites. If you want us to, we'll supply the domain. And the crazy deal is 5 sites for basically $1,000, and we'll supply the domains. Now, this is limited, the 5-site one, because there's only so many domains available, right? And I want to make sure that we can get you good domains. So just know that the crazy deal can come off the table at any point. We're going to have a private Facebook group where we can chat about all of the things, all of the questions, all of the best tips, all of that kind of good stuff. If you guys need instant answers about anything, you need help with anything, that private Facebook group is the way to go. And then we will have some webinar training, best practices, both about destinations, the kinds of things that you can use to set up the sites, all of that sort of stuff. So if you buy in today and you're not quite sure what it is you want to do with your website, how you want to set it up, wait for the first webinar. We'll talk about all of that kind of good stuff. Does all the traffic have to go to the same destination? If you get the 2 sites or the 5 sites, each site can go, the traffic can go to different places, absolutely. Any other questions? Will my network be shared with others? That's a great question. No, your network is private to you. Even if we have 2 people who come in, they're both lawyer-oriented, you're going to have your lawyer network, and our other member will have a different lawyer network. What's the turnaround time? How long would it take? If you supply us the domains, our turnaround time is incredibly fast. I would say something like 72 hours. If we have to supply the domains, then you need to give us a week to be able to find you good domains. I can, Stephen. Let me just make a note so that I do. It's my notepad for this call. Will there be sponsored or advertisement labels on the links? Absolutely not. Will I be able to edit my sites? There's no need for you to edit your sites. If you need to have something changed, we're happy to change it for you. If you cancel the subscription, then the site's yours and you can edit to your heart's content. Can I use this to boost my client's site without getting them into trouble? If you're looking to send them traffic, absolutely. You can do it without getting them into trouble. If you want to use it to also link to their websites, I'm always a little cautious with that kind of an answer. As I said before, I never recommend a mass page creation site to be linked right smack to money site. Do it through a third-party site, like do it through a social platform, do it through their maps. Do something like that through a site that can't be hurt, where the knock-on effect to their website is a no-follow link, and then that's going to protect their website. So you can boost the client site that way. Oh, lots of questions. How can you guarantee these sites are safe? They're guaranteed safe because of our best practices, what we recommend that you guys do. Obviously, I've bought sites in the past that I thought weren't penalized, and they turned out to be penalized. It was in the early days of my buying pre-owned domains, but like sometimes you don't know until you've actually bought the site. Let me just go back and make sure I'm answering the same question, because I had 2 or 3 come in. I guarantee that the sites are safe. And so that's why I say, like, I can guarantee the way that we are sending the traffic is 100% safe. I've looked at the code behind that, and there is no way that Google is going to penalize you for the way the traffic comes through the sites. If I were to start today, would you start working on it now? Or would you cut your question off, hang on. Or would start, oh, no, we would start it, like if you've got all of the data ready to go, like if you know what you want to do with your website, when you get on the inside, when you purchase, it takes you into a page in the members area, there's a questionnaire there, and if you fill out the questionnaire and you want to get rocking on that right now, we'll start on it, probably given the hour today, we'll start on it first thing in the morning. Mind you, if you're the 5th person to purchase today, we'll start on it the day after tomorrow. Oh, you just bought a site. That's awesome, Sam. A few more questions. Yeah, absolutely, Sam. Just hit me up. We'll talk. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a 301 redirect. It doesn't pass a penalty. So if there is a penalty on the domain, it's not going to pass it. Is it limited to the US? No, these can go anywhere. They can be anywhere. The language, there's no language limitation, so the traffic can be sent absolutely anywhere you want it to go. Yes, absolutely, Pablo. You can switch plans, upgrade, downgrade, absolutely. Um, you don't have to find your own hosting. Hosting is included with these packages. We've got really, really good hosting that's super fast. And so long as we're hosting it for you, we'll take care of everything. You can see what the hosting charges are here on the bottom line. The more sites you've got, the higher it goes because we have to pay on a per site basis. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, we've got more guys jumping in. That's awesome. So AJ says, so really I would be smart to set this up and turn on the tab for the client. And it also protects me if they decide to cancel. Exactly. Exactly. You can find another interested client in the same niche and just redirect the traffic to them. Exactly. Um, so Michael, no, we're good for a while. So just keep me in the loop and we'll get you taken care of. Can I stop anytime? I'm assuming you mean can you unsubscribe anytime? Absolutely. You're unsubscribing from the hosting, and there's no, like, you don't have to be with us for a year or anything like that. We'll just turn everything over to you. The webinar training will be available. Yeah, absolutely. We'll put this up. We'll have the email should go out shortly. I'll make sure we modify the email so that we've got the link to this webinar. Um, How much traffic for how many long tail keywords? Well, that is so difficult to say because obviously if you're in SEO, the traffic on SEO long tails, you got a lot of traffic there. If you're over there in integrated laser systems where, your head terms have got maybe 100 searches a month, you're not going to get nearly that much traffic. So it all depends on the niche that you're in and how competitive, right? How many pages will we get? That depends. You get up to 1,000,000 pages. Each site can handle up to 1,000,000 pages. And it just depends on the keywords that we use as to how many pages it can generate. If you've got a big niche, then you'll get 1,000,000 pages. If you've got a really small niche like integrated lasers, you're not going to get 1,000,000 pages. If you get 100,000, you're going to be doing well. That's just because the topic is so small. All right, let me mute for a second. There's still a lot of questions. I'll be right back. Okay, so next question is how long does it take to build the pages? So we can have it start off with a bang. When we kick the website off, we have it put up enough pages so that it's going to be an authority site extremely quickly. And then it's going to go on and build out pages for a year up to 2 years, depending on how fast we throttle it. Jazz, I think that's a question that we didn't have in the questionnaire was how fast. Awesome, Stephen. I will do that. I'll ping you shortly. Is there any limit? Is there any limit to what? To the number of pages? To the time limit? It'll build up to 1,000,000 pages, depending on the size of the niche. Okay, questions are starting to slow down. Which is good because I'm out of coffee. All right. I won't keep you people any longer. You guys have got the URL to be able to purchase, and you've got my email if you need to get a hold of me. Oh, wait. Oh, more questions. All right, hang on. Oh, if you want to do that, you want to send the traffic to more than one money site, and I don't think that the form that we put up allows for more than one entry. So just add a help desk request or send me a personal email. Help desk request actually would be the best thing. Stick it in the help desk because that way I'll make sure that it gets to where it needs to go. I teach this course along with my business partner who has been doing this for a couple of years because she's the one with all the experience on what to do and what she's been doing that's gotten her such great results. Oh, all right. Apparently there's also a comment field. So if you need to add more information, you can put it in there. If you've got multiple domains. Excellent. Thanks, Pablo. I appreciate the compliment. Thanks, Michael. All right. Awesome. Hey, thanks, everybody. I appreciate your time today. And we'll be back somewhere in the next couple of weeks with the next installment of keywords. I love you guys. You have a great afternoon.